Hello everyone, today we're watching how people ruin their marriages in 2 seconds. So this is a video on how to ruin your marriage 101. Let's get started. My soon-to-be ex-wife came out as a lesbian and I am not allowed to be angry, okay? I, 31 male, was with my soon-to-be ex-wife, 30 female, for 10 years, married for 6. We met in the university and I moved back with her to home city after graduation. Just 3 weeks ago, I came home from the gym to find her sat at a table with packed suitcase. She tearfully confessed to me that she had been seeing someone for a couple of months prior and doing what she had realized that she was in fact a lesbian and that she was leaving me because she no longer wanted me to live a lie. I stood there in complete shock, not even knowing how to react, and said a farewell and walked out the door. You see, she left without a warning, with no real conversation, and that gotta feel like a punch in the gut. I get why he's confused, right? Did not know all of this all along. It's been 10 years. I have no words, you guys. They were together for 10 years and she has been dating women. It makes sense why he feels deceived. It took me a few minutes to process what just happened, as my life as I knew it crumbled right before my eyes, and she has been gone by that time as I was able to try to follow her out of the door. I blew up her phone with calls, text messages, just because I felt the least that she could do was talk. Then one of her friends eventually picked up and told me she cannot talk right now. I'm so sad. I will admit in hindsight that there were a few signs. We would always had some issues with our sex life and it was getting worse towards the end. There was an emotional distance between us and we had quite a few rough patches. I also admit I wasn't perfect husband, but I was never abusive or mean towards her. Did my fair share of housework, be romantic, and put an emotional effort to the relationship. This woman was the love of my life and I would be damned if I would have fought to the bitter end to make our marriage happy, but sadly none of it mattered in the end. I failed at marriage that was from the beginning. It cost me 10 years of my life and most of my 20s. What baffles me the most about this whole situation is how could she not have known this whole time? I was aware that she was into women. She dated women before meeting me, and her friends and her family were open-minded. She has a queer cousin. I can't honestly think of any reasonable explanation. I feel like I have been deceived. Yeah, like I said, it's really easy to understand why he feels deceived. The whole situation is just a mess in that sense. He is in his 20s, right? Or his early 30s. I would understand. He feels like he is miserable to the sense of him losing so much time with a person who at the end didn't think it was worth to fighting for. So I completely understand his frustration. This is really something that I would be mad at as well. This is something that you can't just hide for this long. You have to be really open within your relationship. The worst part is how this is playing out with our mutual friends, pretty much all whom were her friends first. The very next day, she made a long-winded post on Instagram describing her coming out story, for which she received an endless train of likes and comments telling how she's so brave for living her truth. Most of her friends have outright stopped talking to me and removed me off social media, except a few who called me and stopped by to check in on me. Even then though, every time I try to vent to them, I met with some variation of "you didn't see how much of a wreck she was," or now think of how difficult this is for her. I completely understand how it was difficult before coming out. It is completely hard to live with someone who is lying to themselves, right? Or hiding what is true to them. I completely understand. I'm not trying to deceive that at all, but I'm just saying this is really not fair to the partner who thought that the feelings were mutual, right? Like, what the hell? I am the injured party here. It wasn't my choice to knowingly enter a marriage with someone I'm incompatible with. I am a human being with emotions too. Anyway, thanks for listening to my little rant. Now that initial shock for this is all over, I guess all I could really do is pick up pieces and figure out my next moves. I don't know, you guys, what do you think about this situation? I have shared my thoughts about this, but honestly, you are allowed to be angry. This is not something that you could just let go. You could definitely be happy for your partner, but you can't not feel the sorrow of the time wasted. That's completely unfair. Let's read some comments, you guys. You are allowed to be angry regardless if she was figuring out if she's a bi or lesbian. She had an affair, she lied, she betrayed you. She could have figured it out without having you on the back burner. She was selfish. That is exactly what I agree with. Honestly, that is something that you don't have to take another person with you, right? You are figuring it out. You could do that alone. You wasted someone's 10 years of life figuring yourself out. I don't like that. That's why I don't agree. I understand that it could be really difficult, but I don't agree with this scenario. Anyways, you guys, this was a tough one. Let's go to the next one. I sold my wedding dress to pay rent and I haven't told my husband. We got married last fall. It was a small but beautiful. My dress wasn't a designer, but it was mine. I loved it. I cried when I first tried it on. Fast forward to this month, unexpected medical bills, car trouble, hours of cut at work, rent was due, and we were short. You know, selling a dress to cover rent is a big sacrifice of all of the memories. I just know, not personally to me, I have sold my dress next month, right after my wedding has passed, but selling a wedding dress to other people may be so big. It's such a big sacrifice for them, but I understand why she may have done it. She was trying to help her husband. That sucks. Okay, my husband will already work 60 hours a week. I didn't want to add in more stress, so I quietly listed the dress, got half of what I paid, but it was enough to cover the gap. He doesn't know. I said I sent it to cleaners. It's been at the cleaners for 3 weeks now. I know it's just a dress, but it feels like I sold a piece of our beginning to hold together the middle. It hurts more than I thought it would. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. I really hope that she is able to have a very honest conversation with her husband about this soon, because I think he would appreciate what she has done. It is a big sacrifice and not a lot of people will be able to agree to do that, right? I'm sure he would appreciate her doing whatever it took to make sure that they didn't fall behind in terms of financial decisions, right? Or emergencies. This story actually reminded me, I'm currently looking at the story, I'm just trying to think, right? This story actually reminded me that life, unexpected moments, times force us to make sacrifices like that. And it's not always to let things go. And this one was so sentimental for sure. And I completely understand. Would you do that for your loved one, you guys? I would. I mean, I did. I got my money back, but listen, not everybody's ready to sacrifice for that. Let's read some comments. I know it was tough, but the marriage you did it for what is and was so special about that day. That man and that love you have is what it is for. Everybody falls on hard times and you did what you had to do. Very good comment on this. Very good comment. You did exactly what you needed to do to help your family, so you could keep all the memories in your heart within pictures. A dress, it doesn't matter that much. It will pass, don't worry. My husband doesn't know I'm moving out of our room. Let's see. I am really not a neat freak. I just want a reasonably clean bed. In a decade plus we lived together, he has never washed our sheets. If I never did it, it would never get done. I had a major injury a couple of years ago and I was quite literally crawling and hopping around the house to get the housework done. The only thing that I asked is that he change and wash our sheets regularly. It didn't happen even once. I totally understand why she's frustrated. It doesn't seem like a lot to ask for. Clean sheets and not having them crumbs and mud all over her side of bed. That is literally just basic respect at this point. She's having a hard time and this is the only thing that she asked for. Come on. He lets our kids eat in our bed even though I asked him not to several times. See? those crumbs are going to be in there. He's laying on his side of the bed, so the kids and the crumbs end on my side. We recently got a dog, and I was very clear before we got it that it just didn't want it in the bed. I thought he could respect that, and I was wrong. It's been here for less than a week, and it's already been in our bed several times. He kept defending by saying it was only on his side. Well, the dog has been walking around in mud all day today, and I just went up to see what it was nice cozy on my side of bed. The dog in the bed, after she specifically asked that she does not want it to have it there. I don't understand. That is a huge boundary being ignored. It literally feels like he does not care. I grabbed my pillow and walked out. Good for you, because I would too. Tonight and for every night for foreseeable future, I'll be sleeping in the cold basement. If he's going to insist that it allowed on my bed, my side of the bed, it seems, I don't know if I will ever go back to sleeping in it. I don't think it's too much to ask not to sleep in the crumbs and mud. No, it's not. That is basic respect, and I'm sure he's able to do it, but he's not willing. The worst part is that everyone else in the house has their own space. My husband has an office. Everyone has their own bedrooms. I don't have one room in this house where I can have dedicated privacy. Sometimes I just hole up in our closet. I am so sad. I just want some space. What a miserable relationship between you and your husband at this point. The way she's quietly dealing with this, and she's super frustrated, right? Just adds the sadness to this whole story. All she wants is a clean bed and respect, and also peace. She's not getting either of that. That is horrible. Let's read some comments. That is messed up. 10 years and he's never washed the sheets, even when you're practically crawling, and the dog in the mud all over the side of the bed after you specifically said no. Hell no. Grabbing your pillow and dipping to the basement, totally get it. Crumbs on the mud are a hard pass. It's not asking for the moon to want a clean bed. The fact that everyone else has their own space, you are stuck in a closet sometimes, that's just sad. You deserve your own chill zone. He needs to get that this is not just about being a neat freak, right? I really don't think you are a neat freak. You're just asking for boundaries and respect. So basic, right? It's about basic respect for your boundaries and wanting a clean place to sleep. Sleeping in the basement ain't the answer, but he needs to wake up and realize he's making you seriously unhappy. You deserve a comfy bed and your own space, period. Exactly. I completely agree with this comment. I pretended to be a girl on Discord for years and I don't regret it. Huh? From 2019 to 2023, a little into 2024, I was dedicated to Discord. I was just a 16-year-old guy in lockdown, bored out of my mind, attention-starved, and lonely. So yeah, I pretended to be a girl. Are you trolling or what? So yeah, at first, it was just curiosity and trolling. Yeah, that's what exactly I figured. But then I realized being a girl on Discord came with perks. Free stuff, instant friends, mods, mod roles, attention. I saw how differently people treated me and I leaned into it. I'm not gonna lie, that really does work though, you guys. I used to play multiplayer or GTA Online, and a lot of those mod hackers, whatever they were giving me free stuff. And all of them were shocked that a girl plays this game. Yeah, I understand, but you seem funny. Why are you doing that? I have even used my sister's voice once, passed a voice verification test, got the girl role. Wow, okay. Got mod roles later. Some people were sus at first, but slowly they trusted me, mostly because I acted normal and was fun to talk to. I ended up talking to creepy dudes. That is where it's getting weird. Kids who thought I could hack them. They were just scared to even open a meme I sent LOL, and even had an online boyfriends. Cringe now, but yeah. I never used to voice them, just acted the part. When things got serious, I ghosted them. I wasn't looking for any relationship. I would assume so, right? That doesn't work that way. People trust strangers online too easily. For some of the guys I met were so creepy. It gave me the insight into what real girls must go through online. There were people asking for personal stuff, trying to flirt, getting mad if I didn't respond, expecting access to my real identity. Yeah, Exactly. That disgusted me. And honestly, even though I was faking it, I felt violated sometimes. I also bullied a few other annoying kids. Nothing extreme. They were just scared of me, thinking I was some hacker. It was dumb but funny back then. By 2024, I dipped from Discord. School got serious last 12th, and ironically, I got into a real life relationship. I told people I had to leave because I have a real life too, and I did. Good for you, fella. Looking back, I don't really regret anything. I learned a lot. People are naive online, and being a girl online is literally a survival game. Creeps exist everywhere, and messing around can actually teach you a real skill. I got into programming, automation, botting, all through Discord servers. Yeah, I was weird, lonely, but now I am 19 and a lot more mature. No, you're not. Calm down. I'm sure you got so many skills from Discord though. There's so many things you could learn from other people as well, and sometimes these games that we used to play, some good life lessons coming from there. I don't know why this story has been added, but you guys, it seems funny. Not relatable to marriage, but whatever. Not proud of everything, but not ashamed either. It was a phase and it taught me stuff. I faked being a girl in Tisco for years during lockdown, got attention free stuff, blah blah blah. That's just a summary. Edit, just to clarify, the tone of my post might have come across the wrong way. I didn't mean to downplay or trivialize anything. I was simply sharing my experience. I realized how now it may have sounded insensitive, and appreciate the feedback. That was a foolish post. I don't know why I added this one here. It doesn't make sense to the topic, but you guys, whatever. That is a plot twist. It's funny. Let's read some comments, you guys. I just learned that one of my online friend isn't a girl like they have been pretending to be for 3 years. We are part of the same small Twitch community, and we talk very often in chat and Discord. Went into another stream. They were playing a game where participants had to be on mic. He was there talking. I guess I didn't think of any other community would be on there. It's awkward because he's still pretending to be a girl in our community while he knows that I know. Edit, maybe it's just you. Just kidding. The years don't match up. That is funny. You guys are funny. You guys are silly. What are you guys doing? Alright guys, let me know your thoughts on all of these posts. Make sure you check out all the links in the description below. I also have a second channel with beauty content. If you like beauty, check me out on there as well. But thank you so much for watching. I will be seeing you on my next one. So, bye!